back. So, first thing we're going to go over is our stance. As I said, everything derives from our stance, and then our footwork and our angle. For my beginning students, we always go over the stance first. How to stand properly, then holding your proper angle, keeping the proper distance, and then how to strike from there. So first thing we want to do, right? Everything derives from our boxing. That's the first thing that we learn. You're going to get your body mechanics from there, your proper footwork, your angling, everything. So that's what we work on first. So if you're right-handed, typically you're going to go with your left hand forward, your left foot forward. So there's a couple different ways that I explain this. The first most basic one, I'll say, start off with your feet shoulder width apart, take a comfortable step forward, okay? And typically this is about the perfect distance you want your feet apart. Couple key things. First off, I don't want to stand on the tightrope, right? And I won't have good balance. But what I don't want this foot kicked out too much. So now you can see there's a big target right here, and it's going to be hard for me to maneuver an angle. So the way I say is you're on the tightrope and then kick your foot out for good balance. Okay, so that's the first thing, right? You want to be nice and balanced. Make sure you can bend your knees and be centered. Another important key point is this foot in the back. Okay, I'm gonna try to get good angle here on the camera. First thing I don't want my foot turned sideways, and I don't want it flat, right? Because we're gonna use this back foot to push off a lot and generate power off of our jab and our punches. If it's sideways, I don't have the proper spring. What muscle can you actually use where you're pushing off your foot sideways? So what we say, I like to say, don't point your foot forward, right? Not sideways, but at a nice little 45. And look how my heel's off the ground. This is activating my calf. I got a lot of spring and a lot of power right here to push off the punch, right? Feet shoulder width apart comfortably. Comfortable step forward. Rear heel off the ground. Toe pointed at what we call like a 45. Next thing, my lead hand, right? My elbow's gonna be against my ribs. My hand is just kind of hovering out here in the front. Some people like to put it here. See, this leaves this big opening right here up the middle. I leave that front hand right here in the center so it could pick up anything that comes across. And then if this hand misses, then I have my rear hand that could pick up anything else. Okay, so front hand, elbow in, chin down, lead hand right around center line. And we'll talk about center line as time goes on, but since we're on the subject for now, there's this, I want you to picture a line cutting down the center of your body from your nose, right? This is what we call center line. And we're gonna be manipulating it and cutting across it throughout everything that we do. Now, even though I'm sideways, my center line is still right here. Okay, so that's what this hand means, occupying center line. So it's in a strategic position to pick up different strikes on either side. My rear hand, elbows against my ribs, chin down. This hand, I put it right here on my jaw, or we also call it, on the phone. Nice and tight. So again, anything that this hand doesn't pick up, this hand's staying at home to pick up. Okay, this is your basic stance, chin down. Now, one thing I want to point out, right? A lot of people seem to have a misconception that, look, my chin is down and my shoulder is protecting my jaw. This is what you want. But some people have a tendency to over-exaggerate, and what they'll do is they'll shrug their shoulders up. Well, the problem with this is now my shoulder muscle is tense and activated. I'm not going to have the reaction I need to when I go to throw my jab and pop it off. So all my shoulders could be relaxed and down. My chin is down and it's protected by my shoulders still. right? So that's very important. Everything in my body is nice and relaxed. Elbows rested on my ribs, hands up. Now this last part, it's very subtle, but it's important, especially when you come into moving and being able to react on your feet. So see if I can get this on camera well enough, but my hips, right? My hips aren't just sitting relaxed. I actually have them rolled in and locked. So my hips are locked together. That is locking my legs in place. And so they're constantly activated, because as we start moving around and we have to shift, I gotta lock my hips in place off of my knee, my legs, okay? So my hips are rolled and activated. I'm not sitting out with my butt sticking out. It's tight, my core is always active. That way you can move around, okay? So this is our basic boxer stance. Shoulder width apart, comfortable step, rear heel off the ground, rear elbow into the ribs, chin down, hand on the jaw, elbows up, hand on center line, shoulders relaxed. That's our stance.